at 16, and being broke is pretty common where I live, even though I had a job 2 months before the current one. My previous job was at a bakery and I had worked there for about a year, but I quit due to management issues. Summer was approaching when I quit the bakery. I still didn't have any source of income to get through the summer until I thought about dropping off a resume at Burger King. As I started thinking more about it, I realized how much easier my life would be working there. The location was close enough to my house to bike to, but not close enough to walk. It was closer than my last job and the pay would be better too. I used to pass by this place on my bike when going from my mom's house to my dad's. I observed the Burger King where I was thinking of working. Sometimes it was all lit up with equipment on, and other times it looked like a ghost town. Some days it was crowded with customers and the next day it was completely empty. I even ate there sometimes. I personally preferred Subway. After thinking a lot, I decided to apply to work there, and without much hesitation, I got an almost immediate response. On the same day, the fast food place called me back for an interview. The manager who interviewed me, let's call her Lucia, looked to be around 30. She was a sweet lady, very kind and polite. After my interview was over, she handed me a hat and said, "Welcome aboard." On my first day, I met the other manager, let's call him Johnson. Johnson showed me around the fryers, the food, and the production lines. My first role was to work as a cook. I made sandwiches, packed fries, and prepared nuggets. My first week went fine. It was even fun to work there. On the first day, we had no orders for the sandwiches called Whoppers, and the same the next day. On my third day, an employee was arrested off-duty. We later found out that the man had credit card information from a customer. After that incident, nothing extraordinary happened until not long after, when I started learning how to operate the cash register. A month passed and I was learning to do everything at the fast food place. I learned to work the cash register, and my manager pushed me to work the drive-thru too. 2 weeks after learning the cash register, I was working the drive-thru. On my third night working the drive-thru, I had indeed taken the night shift. When it's 8 p.m., everyone at the fast food joint stops what they're doing and starts cleaning the establishment. Grills are dismantled in all parts, and we scrub every inch of the equipment. Fryers are drained and scrubbed inside and out. I was the only one working the drive-thru, so I took all the orders from there. As I received the orders, I sat in the office and watched the drive-thru camera until the customer pressed the button to order. Then I would hear a beep in the office, meaning there was a car at the drive-thru. However, a few times I heard the beep, looked at the camera, but there was no car, no person, nothing. Yet, the beep persisted and kept ringing until I finally pressed the button to talk to the person in the drive-thru. Reluctantly, I'd say, "Welcome to Burger King, my name is Jonathan, how can I help you?" The customer would reply, "I want a Whopper with cheese, regular size, and a Dr. Pepper to drink." This is a common and quite popular order among all our customers. I was extremely confused by those situations, but I shrugged and continued with the orders. After that, I asked if that was all, and they said yes. So I'd tell them the total they owed and guide them to the next window. I looked at the camera and still saw no car. I looked out the window and there was no car coming. No car had entered the drive-thru. I decided to ignore it as some kind of camera glitch, but I remained cautious after that. A week passed and nothing happened at the drive-thru, but in the lobby, the story unfolded differently. One day, a person walked into the restaurant and I went with the Burger King welcome line, which we must use whenever someone enters the building. However, they didn't respond and walked toward the bathroom. I found that rude and decided to ignore it. I waited for them to come out of the bathroom and place an order at the front counter, but it seemed like they were never going to come back. 2 hours passed and they were still in the bathroom. Along with another employee, we went to check if everything was okay, but there was no response. After my shift ended, Jonathan and I reviewed the security footage. The person entered exactly at 7:37 p.m. I remember this because I looked at the clock immediately after they entered the restaurant to see how much time I had left before I could go. My manager rewound 5 minutes earlier in the recordings at 7:32 p.m. in case I might be wrong, yet the camera never caught anyone entering the building during that time. The same thing started happening more often. More people entered the restaurant and went straight to the bathroom but never came out. One day, when I was sitting in the office, I thought about the whole situation and decided not to greet them anymore. The employees at the front counter greeted everyone with a welcome to Burger King, and I looked at the camera and didn't see anyone entering. I checked the cameras inside the corridor leading to the bathroom, but no one had gone down there, and that camera didn't capture the trays opening from that angle either. We reported the incidents to the company's superiors and inquired about what the place was before the restaurant was constructed. The company said they were not allowed to distribute information like that, so I kept quiet. I did some research about the location and found out that the area where this Burger King was built was infamous for very brutal car accidents. Most accidents that occurred in this area, nobody survived. I'm not sure if there was any side effect after all the beeping I heard, but even today, I still hear the beeps after leaving work. I lie in bed at night, sometimes staring at the ceiling for half an hour just listening to the sounds. But that's not the worst part. 3 months ago, an ordinary kid walked into the front hall. The child wasn't accompanied by any of the parents or guardians. He came up to me and asked where his mom and dad were, but I couldn't tell where they were. I told him to calm down and sit, and I asked Johnson to call the police to see if we could find the child's parents. As soon as we called the authorities, they asked for a brief description of the child, and with that, we looked around the lobby to describe him. However, we couldn't find the boy anymore. We ended the call and checked if the boy had gone to the bathroom, but both doors were unlocked and empty. We looked outside, but there was no trace of him. I swear I saw him in a dream 2 weeks after the incident, accompanied by the beep, always creepy, that I still hear to this day.